Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So Donald Trump is having a hard time finding defense attorneys who are willing to represent him in his upcoming Senate impeachment trial. Why? Well, because it looks like he wants to mount something that I call the rocket to Mars defense. I've seen it in court before, folks, and the rocket to Mars defense rarely turns out well for a defendant at trial. Why? Because justice matters. So Lindsey Graham is trying to block Merrick Garland's confirmation hearing to be Attorney General. Where have we seen this movie before? Let's talk about that. Because putting an end to the bottomless pit of Republican obstruction, like justice, matters. So there's so much breaking news today. Let's do 3 quick hits. 1, the Democrats just took control of the Senate committees. 2, RICO is in the House. And 3, the absurdity of Donald Trump's impeachment defense team. What does it all mean? Well, to me, it looks like we're moving in the direction of justice. And justice matters. A tale of 2 letters. One from a second-rate entertainer and failed president, and the other from just a plain old patriot. Let's talk about that. Because being respectful and being thankful for what we have, like justice, matters. So it's a new year, 2021. What kind of year does America need? What kind of year does America deserve after what we've all just been through for the past 4 years? Well, this is probably not going to shock you, but I suggest that what America needs in 2021 is justice, but not just one kind of justice. Let's talk about that. Because justice matters. So how did one Donald Trump appointed judge just handle the case of a violent insurrectionist? Let's talk about that. Because, call me crazy, but holding accountable people who just weeks ago tried to violently overthrow our democracy, like justice, matters. So let's talk about how the criminal justice system is handling the cases of the insurrectionists. Specifically, let's talk about insurrectionists vacationing in Mexico and enjoying organic cuisine in the lockup. And then let's try to answer the question, is that equal justice? Because justice matters. Well, we just had Super Bowl Sunday, and now it's Impeachment Monday, with the impeachment game getting ready to kick off on the floor of the United States Senate tomorrow. Let's do a little impeachment pregame show. And let's try to answer the question, do we the people have any shot at justice this time around? Because justice matters. So did you see today's impeachment hearing in the Senate? Can I paraphrase A Tale of Two Cities? It was the best of lawyering, it was the worst of lawyering. And once again, let's ask ourselves the question, do we have any hope of justice? Because justice matters. So it looks like President Biden has decided what to do with the U.S. attorneys installed by Donald Trump. And this is a good news story. Because what President Biden has decided to do will undoubtedly move us in the direction of justice. And justice matters. So we're at the end of day 2 of Donald Trump's impeachment trial, the sequel. Are we any closer to justice? Let's talk about that. Because justice matters. So that was quite a show. put on by Donald Trump's lawyers at today's session of the impeachment trial. Let's do a quick recap and let's continue to ask ourselves, is there any chance at the end of this circus that we are going to see anything that approximates justice? Because justice matters. So there's no two ways about it. Today is an ugly day in America's history. So let's tend to our justice wounds and talk about what we, the people, are going to do about it. Because in the fight for justice, as Al Pacino would say, we're just getting warmed up. Because justice matters. Anybody tired of waiting for Donald Trump to be held accountable for his crimes? Anybody tired of waiting for justice? Let's talk about something we can do right here, right now, today, to move us in the direction of justice. Because justice matters. Let's talk about why Donald Trump is criminally responsible for the January 6th insurrection. Because holding Donald Trump accountable for a presidential attack on our democracy, like justice, matters. So did you see everyone who was named in the same lawsuit today as defendants? Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, the Proud Boys, and the Oath Keepers. Let's talk about those birds of a feather and what they all did on January 6th when they flocked together. Because justice matters.
Today, I'm really excited to share with you a discussion with Glenn Kirshner. He's been, I think, a very powerful interpreter for millions of people over the last couple of years to help us understand the legal side of the whole Trump era. Give us your thoughts about what happened last week and how we should be thinking about, the challenges going forward.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Simon, for those kind words. January 6th, I think, is a day that will and should live in infamy because we had a president of the United States launch an attack on the U.S. Capitol, on our democratic processes in an unlawful, a corrupt attempt to retain power. Let's talk about Ted Cruz's Cancun travesty. Because being there for your constituents in their hour of need, like justice, matters. So let's talk about New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, former President Donald Trump, and the concept of equal justice. Because if it ain't equal, it ain't justice. And justice matters. So let's take a look at the new indictment that was just handed down against some of the insurrectionists, and then let's talk about who is ultimately and actually responsible for the attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Because justice matters. Let's do a quick preview of Merrick Garland's confirmation hearing scheduled to kick off tomorrow. And then let's talk about why, at long last, we may finally have a shot at justice. Because justice matters. So between today's Supreme Court rulings and Merrick Garland's confirmation hearing, it was a good day for justice in America. And justice matters. Let's talk about today's Senate hearing into the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. And specifically, let's scratch below the surface of some of the questions that we heard asked today by Senator Ted Cancun Cruz. Because justice matters. So let's talk about Senator Ron Johnson's statements in yesterday's Senate hearing investigating the attack on the U.S. Capitol. And then let's ask ourselves this question. Do Senator Johnson's statements satisfy the legal elements of the crime of accessory after the fact? Because not giving aid and comfort to insurrectionists like justice matters. So I wonder if Steve Bannon is second-guessing his decision to accept that pardon from Donald Trump. Because it looks like justice might be coming for Steve Bannon. And justice matters. So let's look at some of the records set by Donald Trump. And then let's talk about who it is that enabled him to set those records. Because calling out the people who tried to put an end to the American experiment, like justice, matters. So let's talk about how these people who attacked the Capitol on January 6th are getting locked up, one after another, and they are virtually all providing information that incriminates Donald Trump. You know, a criminal case is undeniably being built against Donald Trump. And that is as it should be. Because justice matters. So have you watched any of the speeches at CPAC? Not exactly a hotbed of justice. Let's talk about that. Because justice matters.